Hi, it's Tricia Johnston, residential realtor with Ladder and Blum with your real estate tip of the week. If you're a buyer, there's a loan program I'd like to let you know about being offered by the Louisiana Housing Corporation that provides up to $55,000 in down payment assistance and up to $5,000 in closing cost assistance. That's up to $60,000 in assistance. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify, but you cannot have had ownership in a principal residence during the past 3 years. Just like other loan programs, their interest rates are very low. I'm recording this on January 15th, and as of today, their rates are ranging from 2.375 to 2.75%, depending on which loan type you get, FHA or conventional. There are income limits and certain criteria that you and the property you buy would need to meet. But if you're eligible for this loan program, it's definitely something you'll want to take advantage of. If you have any questions or would like additional information, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I'll be happy to help. I'm Tricia Johnston with Ladder and Blum, and I'll be back here next week with another real estate tip for you.
Do you need cash? Do you want to consolidate debt? Premier Credit can help. They provide quick and confidential loans for any reason. Their service is same day and most loans are approved within minutes. You can apply in person or by the phone. Their experienced and knowledgeable loan professionals will leave you feeling confident that your loan is being properly handled in a secure manner. Premier Credit can be reached at 225-667-8100, or you can email WeSayYes@premiercredit.com, or stop by and spin the wheel at 139 Del Norte Avenue in Denham Springs. They're open Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and are a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Thanks so much, Jim, for having me.
You are the owner of Alisa Verett Interiors and Custom Workroom, and I definitely want to talk to you about that. But I also want to talk to you about the amazing experience that you have doing what you do. It is phenomenal. 30 years. You've been focused on all things interior workroom related, right?
Yes, we've been doing all kinds of things. We love to do window treatments and make our customers happy. We do blinds, drapes, Rowan shades, anything for the home, pillows, custom bedding, anything that make our customers.
Or you wouldn't think to ask that, like I have a curtain behind me here in my podcast studio that you did. Phenomenal job there. Now, I want to get into all that, but I want to talk about your life. You've been in Livingston Parish quite a little while. As a matter of fact, you were kind of born and raised here, right?
Yes, I was.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Springfield, Louisiana, raised there all my life. And when I got married, came to Denham Springs, went to LSU, and been here ever since.
Awesome. And you, so Springfield, wow, has it grown up over the years?
Yes. Springfield is, do you know, it's the third oldest city in the state of Louisiana?
I did not know that.
Yes, yes.
It's
very
beautiful.
Historical. Yes.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot to see out there. When I was in Leadership Livingston, we did a lot in the Springfield area.
Yes.
Half of the things we did, I never knew existed.
That's right.
It's amazing. Beautiful part of Livingston Parish. I encourage anyone to check out Springfield if they get the chance. There's a lot out there to see. Now, you've been in Denham Springs quite a while, too.
Oh, yes.
How long have you been kind of in this area, Denham Springs area?
43 years.
43. And I was thinking you were only 43, so I don't know how that's
I wish I was only 43. That would be great. Can I turn back time?
Sure. If you figure that out, tell me. I'd like to turn it back a little bit too. Now, your parents were business owners.
Yes.
So let's start there and talk a little bit about the family business they started and how it kind of prepared you for a life in interior design and doing what you do.
Okay.
They owned a business. What was it?
Yes, we had Springfield Ace Hardware. My parents started it in 1984. I have a degree in fashion merchandising, marketing, and management, and I did that kind of thing first. But when my children were younger, I decided to go to work with my dad, and we started doing interior decorating there. We did flooring, we did wallpaper, we did paint.
Yeah,
especially with our Ace
I know
Hardware.
a little bit about paint.
And so we did a lot of homes. Actually, I did Carter Plantation when we first started redoing things down there. So
Come on.
yeah, and
that's awesome.
I did some draperies in there too. So my dad and my mom are workaholics. My mom was a home ec teacher for 35 years.
Home ec teacher.
Yes.
You didn't stand a chance, did you?
So I just followed right up my alley, and I've been sewing and working and ever since.
Yeah, it's kind of in the blood there.
Yes.
But the great thing about it is it got you a really early start on business ownership too.
That's
you
right.
saw it firsthand from
That's
your parents.
right.
The struggles that go along with it. It's not always, candy and Apple Jacks. I mean, there's a
right.
lot of struggle that goes along and a lot of, stress.
Staying there, late at night, paying the bills, or doing all the orders, making sure everybody gets paid on Friday.
Yes.
So, it gets tough, and especially, January and September when school's, starting, and then right after the holidays. So, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. It's to me that I think people who don't own their own business, maybe they struggle to grasp is the employee situation. Now, you got to make sure you have enough employees where your service is where you want it to be. At the same time, you got to make sure you can afford those employees.
That's right.
And then you're dealing with a lot of different personalities. That's probably the hardest part to me of owning a business is the employees.
Right.
They can also make or break you if they're really good. It's a great thing, but if people have bad experiences, it can reflect on you.
Well, it's all about training too. And that's one thing I have tried to pride myself in, especially when a lot of the kids that worked for us at our hardware store, you bring them in, you train them on everything. And the customer service is the most important thing, especially in small businesses. And that's what I really strived for. And that's how my dad made the business he did, because everybody loved him. And when you make your customers feel welcome when they walk in that door and you know their name, that's what it's all about. And that's what we do, in my business. My customers now are my friends, and they refer me. I've done 3 and 4 and 5 houses for some people, and they refer me. And that's the best referral and
it's the best advertising you
yes.
can get. And I'll tell you, and we're actually going to get into that because you do get a lot of referral business,
yes, I do.
Which speaks of you and who you are and the quality work that you do. Now, so you had this Ace Hardware store. Of course, it's a family business. You're helping run that thing. But the great thing is you're learning all the aspects of design as well, because you had a paint, you had a paint section in there, and people were wanting to know about color and things like that. And so you're, even as a youngster, you're kind of learning the ropes of what you would end up doing for your life work.
That's right.
And that is a great thing. Now,
Jim, we're swamped with these podcasts, and I'm in the mood for some local barbecue for lunch.
Barbecue. Casey, the problem with barbecue is the speed. That would take forever.
Not at Buddy's Barbecue. With the drive-through line, they can get us fed fast, and that sauce, yum.
It is right in the heart of Denham Springs. Do they have specials?
Yes, they have plate lunch specials every day, Jim. And I bet you didn't know they offer some of the best catfish plates you've ever tasted on Fridays. And on Saturdays, they have smoked ribeyes. They are as flavorful as you can find anywhere.
Okay, I'm hungry. What's the number? I'll call it in.
No, just go online and place your order. By the time you're finished, I can head that way.
That is convenient and really smart.
Yep, just like me.
A local business, and you know what I always say.
Oh, yes. Jim Chapman loves local.
Correct. And that makes me smart.
Oh, please. If you're in the mood for barbecue, go see Buddy's Barbecue at 105 Florida Avenue Southeast, right in the heart of Denham Springs. They're a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast.
You progressed from there, and you earned your Bachelor of Science in Fashion Merchandising. Imagine that. And then you went to work for a little an old staple here in Louisiana, and that is Gottschalk's.
Yes, I was a buyer for Gottschalk's for 4 years, and I traveled all over the United States. That was the most fabulous job ever. It's everybody's dream job. It was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked, 7 days a week, even though Gottschalk's at that time was not open on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we were writing orders, and we were doing all our plans for the next day and our sales. And so, but it was the best. I loved it. But,
fond memories of that.
yes, but you can't do that and have children and fly all over and never be home. So
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and fun fact, I actually worked for Dillard's. And I was not a merchandiser, though I wanted to be. I was jealous of all the merchandisers. I worked in the suit department, and I worked in the Ralph Lauren department. And I will tell you the biggest thing I picked up in that business, and that is how to fold clothes. I'm a master of the fold. Let me tell you.
good.
So much so, yeah.
not many men can say that.
I am the look. You go and you look at the T-shirt. Even for my painters, it's funny because I fold them merchandise way.
Right.
With the folds.
Flip them over.
Yes, and I stack them.
Well, now they have these little boards. They make it easy for them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well,
but
I was
back in our day, we didn't have that.
I was a handbag buyer and a shoe buyer.
Yeah.
In the Agner boutique when it was really, really hot. So, I was buyer of the year for 2 years in a row. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, of course, it's up every woman's alley to be a handbag buyer and a shoe buyer.
Oh, sure.
But it was great.
Well, it's interesting too that it speaks to your taste, because buyers have to and if you're out there, you're listening to this and you're not sure what a buyer does. So what a buyer does is they choose the products that the clothing, for example, and Gottschalk's would carry, or the handbags,
That's right.
and they will get pitched this stuff, and they choose to buy it or not. They are
That's
exactly that, but they got to have taste, because if you buy the wrong thing and it doesn't sell, ruh-roh.
Yeah, I was just at the right place at the right time, and I just had a natural knack for it.
Yeah,
and we had great people that we worked for. My boss was just awesome. He taught me so much. So everywhere that I've been, I've had really great mentors that have taught me not only how to do my job, but life lessons.
Yeah, and that's I'm glad you brought that up. That is, to me, a very important part of life in general, is mentors.
Right.
You can learn something from anybody.
That's
right?
right.
You can. I tell people a lot that when I'm in a room and I don't know a whole lot of people, I observe them. And if I'm impressed by them, or I think that they're doing something that is good that I could use,
Right.
I'll definitely pay attention. And so for you young folks out there, pay attention.
That's
and
right.
and when you see people that are successful, you may want to try to copy what they're doing.
That's right.
If you think it'll work for you. So yeah, mentors very important. It seems like you were very happy there.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, definitely. So also, in addition to that, of course, your experience is vast. You're a certified government agent.
Governmental purchasing agent.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Okay, so after I did the stint with Gottschalk's, I knew we wanted to have children, and I couldn't work like I was working. So the purchasing agent job came over at the school board, so I applied and got that job.
Awesome.
And
I wish I'd have known you back then. I'd have been begging you for paint sales.
Oh yeah, we sold. We bought a lot of
I
paint,
know.
but that's back when the school system didn't have any money, so we really had to stretch every dollar.
Yeah.
But we brought the school system back then to the brink where we really started growing. We had 31 schools then. So, and I worked with, all the contractors and the architects, and I also did all the inventory besides the purchasing. So, we did everything. We did
Right.
we had the maintenance department. So, I had to work with everybody, the principals, the teachers. So when you work with that many people, you get to people all over, and learn to respect those people, and they respect you, and have that one-on-one where you can go back, and it's paid off. And then Mr. Jim DeLong, which was a principal at the time, he became the mayor after he retired, and he said, Lisa, can you come over and set up a purchasing system there? So I did that too. So everybody that you meet might be a stepping stone for something else later on.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And so it seems like you enjoyed your stint there as well. And then when Mr. DeLon asked you to kind of come over to, I imagine, a city of Denham Springs, that's a feather in your cap.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, he was impressed with you.
Oh, yes. We've been friends for years, and had friends with his kids. And, Mr. Perkins was a principal. I had known him. Yeah. And he was a great leader in our city. And then Mr. James Durbin.
Yeah, Jimmy Durbin.
Mr. Jimmy Durbin. He and I are really great friends. He is a great guy. And, John Wascom and all the other that were there at the time. But everybody
John's my
was wonderful.
parish councilman.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So very, very cool. So you were with the school board, then you got in with the city. So you're just progressing right along, little Missy. Right. You're getting out there in the world.
Well, I never did explain what a governmental purchasing agent is.
Yeah. So what?
Well, I always believe in getting every bit of education that you can, so that you can do your job really, really well. Right. And so they offer courses, and we went and took some courses, and got my certification, so that if I ever wanted to go to a higher level, which I thought maybe I might go to the state one time. Sure. And so that I would have that certification. So I want to do the best I can at whatever I do. I want to be the top, and that's just my competitive spirit, I guess. But
absolutely, and it's an expectation you have of yourself that really I wish everybody had. Yes. Anything that you do, anything you do that's worth doing, do it. Doing it right. Do it 100%. Go hard at it. And you'll be surprised at the success you have.
I know. That was my mom's number one thing. If you're going to do it right, or don't do it.
Absolutely. You're spending your time doing it. Right. And so, I mean, we only go around this rock one time.
That's right. You got to do it right the first time.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. So, you were sales rep of the year for, and forgive me if I mispronounce this, but is it Carroll Fabrics?
Casimir Fabrics, and I worked for two. I worked for Casimir Fabrics, which was my first job right after Katrina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Katrina tore up everything. My business,
Boy,
I was working out of my house doing interior design and draperies, and guess what? It died. So I thought, and I had been. So I was the number one sales of trims for Casimir before I went to work for them. And they called me and they said, Lisa, you want to come to work for us and be a sales rep? And I went, oh, that'll be fun. And I loved it. And I, of course, being very competitive, I said, I'm going to be number one. I mean, and really, Katrina was a horrible thing. But it was great for our designers and our workrooms here in Louisiana and Mississippi. And that's how, I taught the designers how to use they had a custom workroom up in Dallas. And that's how I got all of the jobs in the business that I did. Yeah. And education is so important, just like, with the governmental purchasing agent education. You've got to educate your customers. Yes. You've got to educate your interior designers, because I also work for other interior designers here in town and in Baton Rouge and New Orleans. But it's all about service, education, and, doing what's right. So
I agree. And, especially in the design world. Right. It changes constantly. In my world, color trends change constantly. And
well, the color trends used to be, we keep it 4 or 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
Now every year we're getting a new color trend, and we're getting 5 and 6. Pantone keeps coming out with. I'm going, what's the deal here? Okay.
Yeah, and as I can speak from a manufacturer standpoint. We hate that.
I know
because we got to change our entire fan deck, and you would not believe the work involved in that.
Right, I know. So how many times did we used to change the fan deck?
Oh, it was 10 years.
Right. Now it's what, every 2 years?
And I think every 3 to 4 is kind of average, but now the trends will change before that.
But you can add other cards in.
Absolutely, we'll come out with fold outs and stuff that have the hot whites.
Yeah,
believe it or not, now whites are on fire.
I know. I am so tired of making white draperies. I mean, white linen, white silk,
white walls, white trim.
Yeah, everything's white.
Everything. It's like a museum.
And guess what? Color's coming back. I just got all some updates, and I'm so excited. I'm ready for color.
It's interesting that wallpaper went away for a little while, and now it's coming back.
Wallpaper is hot.
Is that not? I thought I would never see that day again.
Well, when I started at our store, when we first started back up doing the decorating, wallpaper was the first thing that I really added, and I sold lots of wallpaper.
Yeah,
and then it died.
Yeah,
but now
tragic
the wallpapers,
death.
yes, and they're like Tebow and some of the really traditional. Imperial, they're bringing it back, a lot of the traditional wallpapers, and then we got a lot of modern textured things that are beautiful. Just absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, and it's interesting. You go back and these antebellum homes, and a lot of people are buying these now, and they'll tear out sheetrock or something, and they'll find a beautiful wallpaper behind it.
That's right. And you know what's so great with that? They can take a picture, and they can reproduce it now, and it's so much cheaper. Yeah. Back when I first started 30 years ago, to have a custom wallpaper redone, I would have to go to the archives over most everything's in New York or in England or in France, and you'd have to find that print.
Yeah.
And then it was major expense to have that redone. We've done that a few times in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But now with the printing capabilities, we could have a wallpaper redone for just a fraction of the cost of what it would have cost years ago.
Yeah, then no doubt. And like you said, it's an exact replica.
Well, just the other day, I saw one of the designers on one of the HGTV channels.
We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, but she took some wallpaper, but the child's art, and had wallpaper made for the child's room, and it was just awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. So you're moving right along. You're salesman of the year here. You're salesman of the year there. You're buyer of the year here. You're rocking through life, and you get this crazy idea. BJ Pawn and Gun has been servicing the Livingston Parish community since 1990. If you need it, there's a good chance BJ Pawn has it. So go see them in Denham Springs. They're a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. Right? So you say, you know what? I'm so successful doing this, I think I'm going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And you decide at some point to open up Alisa Verett's Interiors and Custom Woodwork. Now, I want to talk about that a little bit, because this is where I see people who have a lot of potential for business never act on it. So we all have sat there and we're thinking, do we really want to do this? Because look, you're working for some companies where they're paying you. You don't have any expenses. You don't have to worry about employees, right?
No.
You go to work, you've got insurance or whatever it is.
Got a company car.
Got a company car, gas card, all those great things. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to give all this up and just kind of go at it on my own. What was that? Was that a tough decision to make?
It was yes and no. My dad died very suddenly, and my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's, but now I've been re-diagnosed with something else. But so I had to come home. I had to get off the road and kind of be here to take care of her.
Yeah.
So that's how I really got back into it. I decided to open my drapery workroom back up because I had it and closed it and, went on the road. But
sure.
It was a natural thing
Yeah.
I can't sit still. I've got to have something to do, and I've got to have that creative outlet.
Yeah.
And, everybody's calling you, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? So it was an easy decision.
Yeah.
And not that it was, then I decided to, this time I was not going to do it in my house. I rented part of Certified Alarms building.
Okay.
And we had a showroom,
Yeah.
right there by Homes Building Supply.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was nice. Oh, we had a big workroom, and I had 5 and 6 people working for me at the time. We had a showroom where people could come in and look at the fabrics and choose what they wanted. It was great. And then flood of 2016 happened. And we lost everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we lost everything. When I saw everything sitting on the side of that road, just bolts and bolts of fabric that we had to throw away and trim. I was doing an antebellum house actually up in Natchez at the time, and I had just had foot surgery. So, I was home, and I couldn't really do anything. I didn't get to go up there, but right before the flood, and I had $3,600 worth of trim sitting in a box on the floor for this job, and we had beautiful tie backs and silk fabric. Thank goodness none of that got wet. But it was so disheartening when we had to take that trim and put it on a rack. And thank goodness it was clean water, and we salvaged the trim, but the tie backs all fell apart. But 2016 was a very difficult year, for us.
Well, for business in general. I mean, there was no one was spared, and that was kind of when I think back on it, I remember distinctly thinking this. We were all kind of in it together, and that was almost a positive in that everybody could kind of lean on everybody. There's nothing, no one will ever, unless you went through it, understand it,
they don't
get it. I remember some friends came down from Lafayette to help us gut, stuff like that, and we're just utterly shocked. They could not believe what they were looking at.
Right.
It was just, everybody's stuff was out on the road, and it was piled 10 feet high, and the big cloth thing was picking it up, and they just could not believe it.
Well, when you sit there and you think all the investments that you had made, like your furniture, I had saved for years to get Century furniture, and I was so, when I saw it sitting out on the side of the road, I just thought, oh my gosh. But you know what? It's given me a different perspective now.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah, it's not all the material things. It's what you can do for other people.
That's right.
And I've really tried to make that kind of my little motto or whatever to help others. I might not make what I should make on certain jobs, but if I can help somebody that's been through what we've been through, it's worth it to me to have that satisfaction. So it's not all about the money.
No, it's really not. And I can agree with that 100% and relate to it. Yeah. I tell people a lot that I really took almost inventory of myself.
That's right.
After that. And I said, I'm getting older now, and I really need to start giving back.
That's
and
right.
There's things that I do that no one will ever know that I do.
And that's what's more important.
For me.
Yeah, that's right.
And to know that, I'm helping somebody is important. It's an important part of life. But before that, it was a more selfish isn't the right term, but everybody was just kind of going, and they weren't.
And you were looking out for yourself. You were making sure your house looked the best, your yard looked the best, you had the best vehicle, you had the this. Now, I mean, I know personally, I'm not as, I guess, materialistic. As I used to be. Yeah. And I know that sounds really bad, but
I still have a ton of clothes. But
oh, I have plenty of clothes. But,
no doubt about it, though. It there was some good to come out of that in the attitudes of people.
Right.
And I think that's always a good thing. So let's talk a little bit more. Let's get past all that depression and talk a little bit more about you get through that, right? You get through that flood. Yes. You did what you had to do. And let me ask you this before I get into all the services that you offer. Did you foresee your company kind of expanding like it did and blowing up?
Actually, no. I mean, it was you can either decide you're going to go with the flow, or you're just going to stay where you are.
Right.
And I got so many jobs. I couldn't even handle it. So I had 5 or 6 people. I had to get a workroom manager.
Yeah.
Because I was having to do all the selling
Mm-hmm.
and the book work and all that. And then and then you go in the workroom and, everybody's busy and this is going. And that was really hard for me to lose that control, because I'm very controlling about my name and what goes the product.
Right.
And I love doing that. And, that was very hard for me to let go and to let others help me.
Mm-hmm. I can speak to that as well. Yeah, that's a tough thing. And there's certain, I don't consider it a control freak thing. I consider it more of a, you, in your case, you built that.
That's right. That's
name. Your baby, right?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
And so if it's a actual baby and you let people hold your baby, you're going to watch and you're going to make sure that head's sitting up right. And it's no different than a business. And, everything you have is on the line.
That's right.
So, and sometimes it's just hard to trust other people with that.
Right.
But
I was so lucky, because most of the ladies that worked for me were all about my age, and we had been friends, and I'd made more friends through that. And actually, my 84-year-old aunt worked with me, and she was wonderful. And then I trained 2 new young girls.
Yeah.
So, and, because they had that desire, and to see, 16, 18-year-old, 20-year-olds having a desire to learn our business, because, most people don't want to go into the workroom business.
Yeah. And you just hit the nail on the head, and that is they're learning a trade.
They're learning a trade.
It's no different than a plumber, an electrician, painter.
Right.
They're learning a skill that not everybody has, that they can use as a livelihood for the rest of their life if they chose to.
If they chose to, yes.
I think that sometimes us as people push, not everybody's made for college, right?
Right.
And some people just don't want to do college. And so trades, man, you getting a good plumbing trade or a good electrical trade or you name it, you can make tons of money. And I think that is where in some cases the country may be lacking, is they push college so much on everybody, and they don't push these trades. And there's a place for that. Fortunately, in Livingston Parish, we have some trade schools here.
Right.
For people that may not, college may just not be their thing.
And I have really thought about it. I even talking to Jason St. Pierre at Walker High School. I would love to go teach a class.
Yeah.
And
you'd be good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be awesome at it.
So I really think these, back when I went to school, you had your vocational arts, you had your home economics, you had all these things where everybody had to take so that they could learn something else. Well, they stopped it, and they wanted everybody to take algebra and all this extra stuff that most kids aren't going to go to college.
Right.
Well, not most kids, 25%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's so important for us out in the industry to let's take these kids under our wing and see if we can't somehow give them some trade skills.
That's right. That's right. Because, number one, the pay is good.
Yes.
But number two, they're learning something they can take pride in and be an expert at.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. So I agree with you 100%. Now, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and that is networking. And you're a pretty heavy networker. You're involved in a lot of different things. And we want to talk about those a little bit because you did mention referrals and how referrals are so important to your business. Now, what would you say, how much would you say networking and things like that have had as far as an effect on your business?
Oh. Would
you say it's, something that really helps? And
at least 50%.
Yeah.
I know in, our B&I group, different ones get like, some say 80%, but mine's 50 because I would say 50. Because,
and I think that's a good mix.
Yeah. because of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's not out there wanting custom draperies or custom, you know.
No, but not everybody can do custom drapery.
That's
either.
exactly right. So, you know, you have to look at each trade and see where you're going. But by referring, you get this great little group of people that you know that you can call. Oh, and especially what I do. I'm doing a house in New Orleans right now, and I needed a cabinet maker. I needed an electrician. I needed a painter. I needed a flooring installer. So I can pull from those.
That's right.
And bring those in. I just don't make draperies.
Right.
So, you know, we do full service. So if you need a new house, you need somebody to come in and do color, whatever, you know, we can do it all. We do furniture, we do accessories, we do wallpaper. So,
yeah.
You know,
and
it's such a gamut of different products.
It really is. And the good thing about that is I tell people all the time in networking in any organization, it's like having a bunch of little sales reps running around for you all the time.
That's right.
And the other good side of that is you have a network of people you can pull from, right?
That's right.
So I love it when people ask me if I know, you know, a lot of people know that I know a lot of people in a lot of different places.
Right.
So I get a lot of calls and, hey man, do you know a flooring guy? Or do you know a
Exactly.
guy that can come cut our grass over here at our commercial building? Yes. I love saying yes because it makes me look good. You know, it makes me feel good to help them.
And you know that they're going to do
that.
a good job for your friend.
That's right.
And they're going to trust you more.
That's exactly right. So very important. Now let's talk about the workroom a little bit and all the things you do there. So we know that you do, you know, draperies and things like that, podcast things, curtains, and you know, minor
we do theater rooms. That's
theater
rooms.
Love it.
Yeah. Look, it's Certified Alarm. I did their theater room in the showroom, and if anybody wants to go see it with the motorization, they open, close. We do all that. I've done 2 or 3 doctors' houses with the theater rooms with the motorization, and you know, that's really the hottest item right now.
I kinda
motorization,
like it,
motorization is the thing right
motorization.
Right now. I mean, for businesses, we did a couple big buildings in Baton Rouge with the motorization, and they love it. And it's just.
I stayed in a hotel room one time in Vegas. And I could push the button and the
the shades would go up, the drapes would go up. Isn't it nice?
My wife was going to kill me because all I did was push that button all day and night. Yes, it was awesome. I want one of those.
Yeah. And we do the motorized outdoor screens for your patio.
Really?
For your
Oh Lord.
Really, really nice. Anybody wants those outdoor kitchens or those man caves, we can fix you up.
Yeah, so you guys that do outdoor kitchens and stuff, I got a referral for you here of a lady who can do the motorized stuff for all of that. So I did not know that you did that. So that's a great thing.
That's another certification we got.
Mention. Now, in addition to that, you still do the stuff like the wooden shutters and things like that, and the wall coverings and
plantation shutters are probably the hottest item. We did a whole house yesterday. I mean, just everybody loves them because they're so easy to keep clean. You don't have those the blinds where you've got the strings and all that hanging and it gets dusty. You can take your little duster but you know, we have we still have the faux wood blinds. The wood blinds. The woven woods are really, really hot right now with the strings, like kind of like the string cloth. I don't know if you remember it, and the wallpaper with the grass cloth.
Yes.
All the textures.
Just don't try to get it off of there to paint over.
No. You know,
grass cloth is thick.
Yes. Oh, I love grass cloth, but you know, we've painted a lot of grass cloth over the years. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah,
you can
you can do that. Some people just try to remove it, and when they do, good luck with that. Yeah, you almost just want to cut the sheetrock.
Yeah, I was going to say it pulls all of the off, but we try to do a little bit of it. All of it. We do all the the screens, like the solar screens to cut we also have a new product which I absolutely love.
Tell me about it.
It's an outdoor solar screen that we put on the outside of the windows. It is printed to look like a plantation shutter, like you have plantation shutters in your home. Yes.
Way.
It is the hottest thing going right now. I mean,
that's awesome.
One of my customers said, because we put it on her dining room windows, she said it was like immediately the heat in the room went down like 10 degrees.
Oh, it's huge. We're actually going to talk about that too.
It's 90%. It's a 99% cut down in your the sun coming in your house.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, let's face it, we're in the deep South.
Yes.
You know, we're not in Idaho.
Really hot item.
Yeah.
So if you want something inexpensive and you don't want to buy plantation shutters for the inside, we can fix it up outside and make everybody think you have it.
That's awesome. So look for that. Tiffany Sicard with HomeKey Mortgage combines the experience and knowledge you need to make your mortgage loan a smooth, stress-free process. Reach out to Tiffany for more information on the vast mortgage programs available in the Livingston Parish area. Tiffany Sicard of HomeKey Mortgage, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. What would you say the hardest thing for your clients to grasp is about what you do? Like maybe what you struggle with the most to get them to understand. I would think time frame would be up there.
The time frame. It's like everybody watches the Home and Garden channel, which I love, but they think custom draperies or custom products can come in a week.
Yeah. Well, the key word there is custom, right?
Right. We're doing everything. When we do custom drapes and we do custom Roman shades and bedding and pillows, it takes time.
Yes.
Number one, we have to order the fabric. We have to, and I really try to educate my customers when I go into their homes that we choose the right fabric or the right product for their house.
Yeah.
If they have little children, if they have animals, dogs, cats, because that's another thing of qualifying those customers to see what they need. And that's important. Yeah. We don't want to be a cookie cutter company.
No.
We want everything. If we're custom, I want everybody to have something that's different than everybody else in Baton Rouge.
I love it. And yeah, you're exactly right. HGTV and you know, it's entertaining in some cases, but not always realistic.
Well, people don't realize they film those shows for months. It's 6 or 7, sometimes 6 or 7 months or a year, and they look at it like it's instant, and it's not.
Yes.
So that's what we're working on and trying. But if you tell people up front, okay, it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. Furniture right now is 22 weeks getting furniture.
Wow.
Because of all the pandemic.
That is amazing. And you know, lumber has really shot up.
Oh, it sure has.
Oh, it's I've got a deck that I had some wood that it just over the years rotted and unscrewed them, and I'm gonna get more deck wood. I'm waiting for it to go down. I'm like, oh, I ain't getting no deck wood right now.
That's right.
It's a winter time. We ain't going out there anyway. That goes over like a lead balloon, by the way.
Oh, yes, I know.
So tell us about the Five Sisters in St. Francisville.
Oh, they are so wonderful. That was another great referral from one of my businesses there in Zachary. She has Maison Graves there in Zachary, and she constantly feeds me referrals. And they're 5 sisters. They all live up in St. Francisville in Star Hill Trace. The oldest sister owns the plantation house there. And all the sisters have moved up there after the flood.
Yeah.
And I've tried to get them to adopt me. I would be because they're a lot older, but they are awesome. Yeah. And they have given me so many referrals. So you just think one person referred them. They have referred, there's 5 of them. If you get 3 or 4 referrals from each of those, and then it multiplies from there, your business can grow like crazy, but
it really can. It's like weeds. And you know, here's the interesting thing, and it all ties back to, obviously, at some point in time, you did a great job for those people.
That's right.
So the thing is, they want to refer you. Again.
Matter of fact, I'm going up there again next week.
Yeah, there you go.
Got something else she wants to do, and then now one of the other sisters in moving in another one of the houses in the subdivision that, you know, so there's always work, and there's always people wanting to refer you, and you do a good job for them. And and then
Absolutely.
they're your friends. They call and talk to you and see how you're doing. And, it's not just about the business and the money. It's about the friendships that you make along the way.
You hit the nail on the head with that. And that's the truth. It's all about building relationships. And I have people that I started out selling them paint. And, 20 years later, they're one of my best friends. And,
That's right.
And many people like that. I look at them almost as family.
I do too.
So very good. Very good. Great advice. Now, what would you say if you had to have a business motto that you would say, something that you look for that people recognize your company for? What would you say it was?
My motto used to be, we express your ideas to perfection, because I wanted to make sure that what I hear from them, because I give them an interview. I interview them to see, what they really like, what their colors are, how they live their life, what they do in their extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
And that way I get to kind of know what they do. My brother used to think that I was just being nosy. At our store, he would say, why do you have to find out their whole life history?
Funny.
And I said, it's because if I know them and I know something about them, I can remember their name. And when they walk in that store, how is whatever their child's name is? And that speaks a lot to customers, to say that you take an interest in them. And that's what I do with their homes. I want to make sure that I'm not going to live in their house. I want to make sure that it's going to be comfortable for them to live in their house. So that to me is what's really important.
Wow. Another great piece of advice. And you're exactly right. You can really just by talking with people, small talking with them, you can learn a lot about their personality, who they are, what they believe. And especially in your business, that's important in figuring out what they want.
That's right.
Because sometimes people don't articulate that maybe the right way. They just don't know how.
Well, and too, if you you're going to get a white silk drapery or white silk sofa, and they've got a big old dog with long hair, that's not really smart. So, you've got
No
to
doubt
see,
about it.
right.
Yeah.
So you've got to see where they're coming from. So
William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance in Denham Springs can service all of your insurance needs. Offering auto, life, health, and commercial insurance, William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance is a proud supporter of Local Leaders, the podcast. Now, let me ask you this question. So if you were not the queen of all things workroom here and interior design and all those great things you do, what would you be? Have you ever wanted to be anything else in life?
yes,
What? Tell me.
I wanted to be a lawyer. That's what I really wanted to be. Can you believe that?
I can't.
But I love to talk, and I love to have a good argument and bring points out. So,
Boy, that sounds
sometimes,
familiar.
yeah. So, that was what I was going to do when I started at LSU. I was going to be a lawyer.
Interesting. Yeah, I had looked into that at one point in my life. I thought that would be a good track for me.
Yeah.
I fell in love with paint at some point and
that's
just
me.
didn't do it. And it worked out good.
Yeah, it's really strange because right before I went to LSU at Springfield High, we got this in our guidance counselor's office, we got this big box full of career cards.
Yeah.
And it had just, I was going through all that and I said, fashion merchandising, that looks like so much fun. And,
And who knew? I mean,
That's
here
right.
you are, many years later,
Right.
and you're great at what you do. You are an expert at your craft, and you just never really saw it coming until the day it came.
No.
And, people ask me all the time, did you think you'd be in the paint business? 22 years later, and I said, no. This was a job I had to get me to my real job, right? 22 years ago.
That's
crazy.
Right. That's right.
And that's how life works.
And this job is so much more. It's more fun too. I think, maybe being a lawyer wouldn't been.
Yeah, that can get messy depending on what you do, and you're dealing with.
And I like to
drama
talk to people, and I like to be out and doing things fun. So
Well, I think
God knows what He's doing.
That's right. I think you're right where you needed to be, my friend.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it. And I would, of course, refer you for anything. You've done great work for me. And so maybe I'll take the place of them 5 sisters one day.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing we do on this show that you're going to find fun is we do fun facts.
All right.
And I like to dive into these because it helps me to learn about your business a little bit by research online.
Okay.
And I found some interesting ones. You probably know some of these, but for the audience out there, it's fun for them. They love when I do this. Casey absolutely loves my fun facts. She can't wait till this part. She's off camera right now, but she's like, she's excited. She's ready to go. So,
all right, let's get there. Let's see what happens.
Venetian blinds are not from Venice.
No, they're not. They're not.
Do you know where they're from?
I really don't know.
Persia. They are Persian.
Right.
They're a Persian invention. Why they call them Venetian blinds, I have no idea. They should call them Persian blinds.
Exactly.
But Venetian blinds are not from Venice. A lot of people think they are. But speaking of Venetian blinds, Thomas Jefferson loved them. So much, in fact, that rather than wooden shutters, which at the time were the trend,
that's right,
Jefferson was very particular and insisted his home at Monticello be outfitted in Venetian blinds. So if you look on the back of the nickel,
been to Monticello and I never noticed.
Yeah, Venetian blinds all over the place. He was very insistent on that. Using wooden blinds in your home can actually reduce the amount of carbon dioxide.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, I did know that. Yes.
Yeah, I did not. And so that's pretty cool. American inventor John Hampson was granted the U.S. patent for the tilt mechanism in 1841. Nearly all blinds hanging today operate using that device.
Exactly right.
So tell me, what is a tilt mechanism?
A tilt mechanism, there's 2 different types. Mm-hmm. You have one that has the cords where you can open and close the blinds, or we have the wand that has the little clutch up in the top that we can open and close.
Okay.
And those are great, but people tend to over open and close and they pop the little mechanism. I'm telling you.
Done it a million times.
We have replaced so many through the years. So now I don't sell the wands. I sell the cords. But, now because of the child safety regulations that we have to go to, they are very strict on us. We are trying to go just completely cordless, where we have the cordless mechanisms that the blinds go up and down.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's we're saving a lot of kids' lives that way.
Sure, absolutely. Well, interesting that it's been around since 1841.
I know. I didn't know it was that long.
Well, John invented a good one.
Yeah.
So it's estimated that good quality window coverings can insulate your house by a third versus using cheaper wall coverings.
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Oh, and I like to layer.
So don't
too.
go cheap all the time. Yeah,
right.
Layering.
Layering. I really love to layer. Shears are coming back.
Yeah.
I mean, gangbusters. So I love to put a hard treatment under, or like a woven wood under, then do some shears, and then you do your drapes. It's like and I close mine at night.
Yeah.
So you think how cold it's been when you close those draperies. And if they're lined, I blackout line just about all of my draperies, and you get it's 100% insulation. And you close those, and you don't feel that winter cold coming through those windows.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Another. Stephanie Berthelot and the crew at SR Enterprise can handle it all, from sheetrock to texture to paint. Give Stephanie a call at 504-432-9284. SR Enterprise, where they spread the paint and you spread the word. A good tip. Well, I appreciate you coming on today. We have learned a lot, and it doesn't seem like we've been going almost an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it goes fast, don't it?
That's love to talk.
You and I both. We could go for 3.
Yeah.
Casey's like, oh, no, you're not. So I really do appreciate you coming on. You're a jewel in this parish. You've been here your entire
Thank
life.
you. I love my parish.
You
I
are
love
an
my parish.
expert, custom wall cover and custom drapery. If you want mechanical blinds that open and close, this is going to be your lady. Give her a call, and we're going to link all of your social media to our post here.
Okay.
And that way people can just click down there and they can go straight to your Facebook. Do you have a website or just?
Yes.
Okay.
www.alisaverettinteriors.com.
There you go.
Also on Facebook, Alisa Verett Interiors and Custom Drapery Workroom, and just Instagram.
Perfect.
So just
you're out there.
send me out, Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Check
we're going
me
to
out.
link all of that too. And her stuff is very visual. So she's got pictures and things like that. And so check that out. Give Miss Alisa a call. She does great work, and she's such a sweet lady. So we covered where we can find you on the web. Now I got to thank my executive producer, who is off camera, Casey McMurray, for all she does for Local Leaders of the Podcast. My guest for today, of course, Miss Alisa Verett, and all you viewers and listeners for your support. Follow us on all our social media. Spread the word as we do everything we can to help small business compete with big business. Thank you to all our sponsors, including Premier Credit, Tricia Johnston Realtor, Blaksheep Creative, William Waldrop of TWFG Insurance, Sporting Center, SR Enterprise Painting, BJ Pawn and Gun, as well as Tiffany Sicard of HomeKey Mortgage, and our new sponsor, Buddy's Barbecue, right here in Denham Springs.
Oh, wow.
Yum, it's so good.
Yes.
We couldn't do any of this without all of you sponsors supporting us. If you're interested in sponsoring the show or appearing on Local Leaders of the Podcast, please reach out to Casey McMurray at casey@localleadersofthepodcast.com. Check out our website at localleadersofthepodcast.com. You can find some great business blogs, past guest videos, and all kinds of other information. Until next time, I am Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business, and keep leading. Blaksheep Creative understands the importance of digital marketing and your return on your investment. It's their aim to provide professional web and graphic design services at a price point that smaller businesses and startups can afford. Get in touch with them on the web at blaksheepcreative.com. Dane Arnold with iTrade Exchange has been enabling small business in the Livingston Parish area to save cash through his network of over 300 participating Livingston Parish businesses. Saving cash by trading services with other exchange members is what iTrade Exchange is all about. For more information, contact Dane Arnold at 225-205-3640 or visit iTradeExchange.biz.